All right, I have at 7 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Leominster Regular School Committee on Monday, May 18th. If everyone can please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm now going to say our school committee statement, and then we'll have the open public forum. The committee represents the needs of all Leominster public school students and places their interests above all others. We will exercise leadership, adhere to our protocols, and base our decision upon a reasoned assessment of all available information. We will advocate for each of our schools and support high-quality public education in Leominster. So now I'm going to open up the public forum. If anybody would like to address the committee, this is the time to please unmute yourself and speak up. Again, I would like to open up the public forum. If anybody wishes to address the committee, please do so now. Unmute yourself and state your name and address for the record. See, we have somebody else joining us. I'm not sure who it is. If you are a member of the community and would like to address the school committee, please do so now. Okay, without anybody coming forward, I'm going to close that portion of the agenda. Superintendent, can we have any communications before us today?
We don't have any this evening, thank you.
Okay. Superintendent, would you like to give us your report, please?
Sure. I just want to give a quick update. We have four speakers this evening that will sort of culminate everything that has been going on. I just have a quick thank you to everyone, from staff to students to parents, our teams, our community. Everyone's really dug in, and we started week 10, if you can believe it. This has been 2 months of this in capture, and people are doing a really nice job, and the finish line is right there. Although our buildings are closed, the school department is 100% functioning, and should parents, teachers, staff, children, anyone need us, we are at a phone call away. I want to thank all of our teams between curriculum and transportation, IT, to give us that accessibility, and that we will continue to move forward this way. You'll hear tonight how we are able to do what we're doing, and that I appreciate all and beyond what I thought for expectations, because this venture of trying to educate students has become a community project above and beyond. So I just want to thank you, and I hope that you give your attention to the presenters this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we're going to start our presentations. The first one is the enrollment process, presentation by Jen Mundy. Jen, if you can unmute yourself. Perfect.
Good evening, everybody. Nice to see you all. We just wanted to give a brief update in regards to enrollment. We are open to that for students K to 12. It is happening. We're encouraging folks to get the enrollment paperwork, whether it's online. The enrollment packets are found at all of the lunch sites as well, and we can send them to you. And so we're just looking for people to either drop them off or to scan them to us. And then once we have a completed packet, we reach out to families and we set up a virtual appointment for everybody. So that's how we've been doing it. It's a different process, so we appreciate everybody's patience. In regards to K registration, which kind of slowed down a little bit, but we've picked that back up, we have over 100 students enrolled at this time that the Parent Information Center has completed, and Early Childhood has about, I believe they have about 75, almost 80. And so we're right around the number that we typically would be anyway, which is good news. So that's kind of where we're at with enrollment. Does anybody have any questions?
Okay, I don't see anybody raising their hands or unmuting themselves. Last chance for questions about enrollment. Thank you very much, Jen. We appreciate it. And it's wonderful to see how innovative people are and have risen to the occasion. So thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Jen.
Okay, we're going to move on to the LHS Seniors Plan. I know, Steve, you've been working very diligently on this.
It has been a complete community and district effort. So, yes, I'm the face of it right now, but I can't say enough. I want to echo the sentiments of the superintendent, who really said this is a real group effort. I'm just going to give you the quick recap of where we stand with our senior class. And as I've said before, I sit on a meeting at 9 o'clock every Friday morning with area principals. And I can't say enough about our faculty, staff, and students, community, parents who have pulled together. And I'm very, very happy with where we're at comparatively to some of the struggles and challenges that other districts are going through. So last Friday, if you can believe it, was the last day of classes for our CTEI seniors, May 15th. So they are now in what would be considered their vocational week, their shop week. And so this Friday would be usually our last day for all of that. And then the following week would be a catch-all of any extra work that would be turned in. So May 29th is that last day for any projects, papers, senior projects, exams, and anything that needed to get turned in. We are not having final exams at the high school at any level. So that portion of the year is kind of exempt. I know many of you know this already, but last Saturday, May 9th, was supposed to be our prom, and that was canceled. So the Friday before, on May 8th, to spruce it up, we came together as a community, and over 65 teachers and district members, including our very own Melissa Bible, who sits with us tonight, met at the high school and delivered 460 signs of graduating celebrations to our seniors. And that included not only Leominster, but all of our school choice kids. So we had to hit Fitchburg, Gardner, Winchendon, Lunenburg, Sterling, and Lancaster. And if anyone's watching from Lunenburg tonight and there's one on the wrong lawn, Barry Hudson read Lunenburg, and it was supposed to be Lancaster, so I'm sure there's a very nice couple in Lunenburg that is celebrating someone's graduation. I need to thank personally Superintendent Deacon for all of her support in this endeavor, Mayor Mazzarella, the Fire Chief Sidlow, Police Chief Mr. Goldman for all their support, and as I mentioned, Melissa Bible for joining us tonight. I know she's got a little added interest in our school department because her kids are with us. And also, I would be remiss if I didn't publicly thank Michelle Oliveri and Jane Sidlow, who organized this event, worked very closely with Ryan Ford at Johnston's to organize and get all the streets out. So it was fantastic. Where are we going in the future? We're planning a day probably in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, and we just want to consolidate one day to have what we'll call as kind of a senior pickup, where they could get their yearbook, they can get their cap and gown, their cumulative folder, which is all of their academic pieces from pre-K or K right through 12, anything that's been put in that folder, their health records. They can come into the building when we deem it safe, very strictly, one at a time, to kind of turn in their books, clean out their lockers, clean out their CTI area, and do that. We're waiting on yearbook delivery and cap and gown delivery. Some of the cap and gowns are in, but not all of them. Also, moving ahead, June 4th, we will have our senior awards night. That's the actual night that it was scheduled. We're going to host it at 7 o'clock. All the scholarships will be broadcast that night, and on LATV and Facebook. We will broadcast that as well. And then we will pray for sun and beautiful weather on August 1st, where we are planning our graduation. I met with Barry Hudson today, who is kind of taking over this task of the logistics of it. He's been our music guy for so many years and understands the setup of the field. We'd like to go the long way and have parents and families on both sides. So we are kind of sketching out exactly how many tickets we can issue, because obviously it's going to be a little different than it has been the years past. But rest assured, we will do our best to get everybody into that area. We're blessed with a great facility. So that is the update for our senior class.
So fingers crossed on that one, Steve. We also have, Eileen, a quick update. John Vancelette has also set up a graduation for LCE. So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, so we're going to push forward on May 28th and do a bit of a graduation parade. We have a very small group of seniors, so it's easy for us to gather all the staff together. We're going to meet at the high school at about 2:00 p.m., and I'm in the process of mapping out a route so that we can go to each senior's house, deliver their diploma. The seniors will hopefully have their cap and gowns by that time.
This call is now being recorded.
To don that attire and come out to the front yard or wherever is comfortable for them outside. I'll deliver the diploma, give them the opportunity to say a few words, and their teachers say a few words. And we'll probably video all of this and maybe throw it up on Facebook, the website. And we're planning another gathering, like more of an informal type of gathering at LCE. The students do the majority of the planning for the graduation, so they're still trying to figure that one out. We're thinking maybe September, because many of the kids have things going on during the summer. So I'm thinking maybe early September we'll have a more formal type of celebration for the students. But everybody is welcome to attend. You can email me if you like more details, and I'll be happy to help you out so you can come along with us on our little rally.
It's going to be fun, John. Thank you for doing that.
Great. Thank you very much for the
Thank you.
update. Does anybody have any questions for either John or Steve? I appreciate everyone's, efforts to make this special for all of our graduating seniors. It's been a very unusual, graduation into their senior year, and we appreciate everyone's efforts to make sure that they don't miss out on any of the typical traditions that our school system offers. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Both of you have done a fantastic job. Remember, guys, rain or shine, we're committed, right? Rain or shine, we're doing this? Okay, I just want to make sure. Rain or shine, we're doing this. Yes.
So now we're going to move on to our curriculum update presentation.
Yes. Thank you, Laureen.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you all. A couple of things that I just wanted to highlight. I believe that Paula has done a great job of providing you with this information, but this way we will get it out to the public one more time. I'm going to echo what Paula says. School buildings may be closed, but learning has not stopped in Leominster. And so a brief update on what we call our remote learning plan. The district website is a focal point for all of our remote learning materials. Steve has got a YouTube station that is just for the Leominster Public Schools domain, and we have some great educational videos up there, as well as some fun and social events that our teachers and the buildings have put up there. There's a daily calendar of educational opportunities. So anytime something new comes up that would happen during the day, we put that up there a few days ahead of time so families and teachers can see that. We have electronic copies of what we're calling the analog work, or the paper and pencil work. And again, just a big shout out to the technology department, Steve Mamoni, and the building administrators. They've got Chromebooks in the hands of all of the students and families that have requested them. So if there's anyone who hasn't heard that message yet, we do have on our website a help line that you can call, or you can call your building principal, and they will make arrangements for any child who does not have a Chromebook at home and needs one to continue the work through June 19th. We'll be happy to get one out to them. In regard to the analog package that we've done, Renee Costa has led this portion of our plan. There have been 3 packets that have gone out to date. There's at least 150 copies of each packet at each grade level, pre-K through 8, that have been put out for delivery at the sites that we have for food. And each of the elementary and middle schools now have a collection spot at their school for families to drive by and drop off the work that the students have completed. That way the teachers have the opportunity to get that work and review it and provide feedback to the families regarding the completion or any questions that they might have. So that analog work has really kept the copy machines busy, but I'd like to thank Renee and her people for really stepping up with that. As you all know, because you have Google emails, Leominster is a Google district. We have our own domain. That's very important in these times because it really provides for safety and security and privacy for our students and our families. Steve would pride himself on the fact that we've been able to roll this out pretty quickly and doing our very best again to keep the safety and privacy of students in the forefront. Our classroom teachers and support staff and special ed and L teachers are all working in what we call Google Classroom. Steve had organized for the past couple of years some professional development on that. Maybe not as much as we realize we should have had now, but the teachers have really ramped themselves up, and most every classroom is out there, grades 2 through 12, and then pre-K through 1 and some 2 are doing a great job with other means of communication at this point. So again, we have a great dedicated staff. They've shown their creativity and their ingenuity, certainly in these times. And another shout out as well to our very engaged and motivated parents and families. A lot of math learning out there. We hear some frustration upon occasion, but we do know that the families are working very closely with their teachers and the building administration to continue the learning for Leominster. So proud of everybody.
Lorraine, do we have any sense about summer school yet, or is that a future discussion?
We're talking about that right now. We are planning for remote summer school for our special education students and our L students, pre-K through 12. I know that the state is also asking us on the remote chance that there might be something that we could do safely and securely to have a backup plan for face-to-face. But what we're looking at right now, and Polly may want to jump in, is for our special education program and our L learners to have summer school remotely.
Yeah, at this point, I think that is the factor. We're moving forward with that.
Does anybody else have any questions for Lorraine?
Curriculum-wise, the team has been amazing. Students have access to ongoing learning 24/7, and the team between IT and what we've been able to push out, virtually and on paper has been commendable. So I can't say enough about our curriculum team. They are making sure that students have every opportunity and that we're keeping equity in the forefront. Thank you, guys.
Oops, sorry, Ron, I'm sorry, it was on mute. It's going to take me a little while to get all acclimated here. But thank you, Paula. And Ron had his hand up. Ron, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I was asking Lorraine, the summer school kids, are they going to be having access to the Chromebooks, or?
Yeah.
Maybe you already said that, and I it went through one ear and came out the other.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of how many summer school kids are going to be, or?
We have there are 2 teachers that are working as special education teachers. They're identifying and reaching out to every family that has a child with an IEP that has goals that include summer school in their plan, to see if they are going to be attending, to make sure that they do have the connectivity and the technology that they need, And I know that our L staff, which includes native speakers in Spanish and in Portuguese, are also reaching out to every single one of those families. So we'll have a good idea probably by the end of May, the students that would like to be involved. I will say that this has been a hard road to hoe for families as far as remote learning. And there may be some families who wish to take that summer piece off, do some of their own enrichment at home instead of doing the screen time. And we certainly understand that, but we're reaching out and making sure that they all know that it's available, and we'll do our very best to personalize it for them.
Melissa had her hand up.
Hi, Lorene. Just a quick, are you getting feedback from parents that are doing the analog paperwork on if that's just a preference or if it's a technology issue or Wi-Fi issue? Just if worst case scenario comes up next year?
I believe it's a little bit of both, Melissa. We've asked our principals to have teachers do an informal survey. We have some, especially at the elementary grade, that don't want their kids to do a lot of screen time, and so they are doing the analog work. And then mom and dad have been taking snapshots and emailing them, or now we're collecting the work. Steve is working on a plan, especially for the summer, if there are people who don't have a strong data plan, and we might be able to support that. I know that the governor and the mayors are looking at Wi-Fi access and trying to help us out with that. So we do believe that most everyone that has, or we know that anyone who's asked for a Chromebook has been provided with one. So, but I do know that there are some who just would like to continue the paper and pencil. I think there may be traditional parents too who like to sit at the kitchen table and do the work.
Yeah.
Ron?
I just to piggyback on Lorraine's statement about the summer school, and how because she was saying that some parents probably want to forego the screen time for summertime for summer school. Is there any method to having them get credit for whatever they're doing for the summer to compensate for what they're not going to summer school?
Ron, I do know that our special education students, that Kim Woodford has been working with the staff for those students, and there are some individualized plans, so it may look a little different for every single one of those children. They're doing their very best to meet the needs of the families.
All right.
And then the L group that we have always focused on for the summer, we have a number of middle and high school students who are interested in continuing their remote work. So, we are happy about that.
All right. Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Lorene? Mike?
I just want to say I'm concerned about the workload we've expected of our special ed teachers during our remote instruction. It's kind of given them a lot extra to do. So I want to make sure we're taking that into account, because I don't think what we've been asking them to do is sustainable. They've also been getting some conflicting information. They were just last week told they had to do IEP meetings for next year. They couldn't wait till next fall, even though they had previous guiding that they couldn't do those remotely because there's no way to ensure privacy. Yep. So we have teachers caught in that bind. So I'm hoping we can improve that process.
I certainly understand that. Kim Woodford has been an advocate for our staff, but some of the guidance that she has received from the State Department of Education has been a little conflicted as well.
Right.
Renee Koska has said the same thing about some of the guidance that's coming down on paperwork and accountability for our English language learners. So we have both Renee and Kim, I know, who are pushing back to the people at the Department of Ed and trying to keep things realistic while certainly being supportive and understanding about the teachers. So we certainly will, teachers and the students, right. And I made a note of that. I can ask Kim. she would like to come on at a later time and discuss some of that accountability, but we will make sure that that gets back to her.
Yeah. And the accountability, Lorraine, like we all know, it's been all over the place for us. We wait for guidance. We're speaking with legal counsel probably 7 days a week right now to make sure that we're covering our bases. And there are some conflicting reports. So we wait every Tuesday and Friday for the commissioner to tell us something that we can definitely dig our heels in and make sure that we're doing the right thing. And I would have to say that Leominster is going above and beyond just to make sure that all students are covered at this point. So it does feel like a lot, but we've put students in the forefront.
So, I mean, in particular, I don't think we can have a remote IEP meeting without the parents waiving the confidentiality expectation.
So there is
family members of the teachers, if they're doing it from their home, can just walk in. And
so we'll have to speak to that because Rob O'Donnell has been talking to them about that, and that we are moving forward with a lot of those meetings at this point. So I'd rather have the expert come forward. It's what Kim is spending the majority of her time on, because they are pushing forward on many of those services and meetings and assessing students at this point, even though we're closed. The building is closed.
It especially doesn't make sense because we're going to have a meeting to set a plan for accommodations for a situation that we don't know yet. Like, I don't know what the rush is. We'll know better these are meetings for the plan for the fall, and we don't know what the fall looks like yet.
Correct.
So I understand, like, it's a state pushing us, but it seems crazy to me.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just telling you what reality is for us right now.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Lorraine?
Nope. I think it's done. I'm good.
Okay. I don't know where Eileen went.
Eileen?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted and I kept on going. So I apologize. Right now we're going to do the approval of the minutes for May 4th, the regular school committee. If I can have a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Mike and Sue will second it. Is there any omissions, errors, or corrections for that meeting? Having none, Sue, if you can unmute.
Sue,
you're muted.
Unmute.
Trying to mute the wrong button. The subcommittee minutes, they should not have non-subcommittee members as attendees.
So
I think it's confusing. I understand people were there, other school committee members, but I mean the minutes should reflect the members of the finance committee.
So that is a very good point, Sue. Right now we're talking about the regular school committee minutes for May 4th. We're going to do the subcommittee minutes next because I need to make sure that the subcommittee is fine with doing that since you haven't voted on it before. So I do have a first and second, and no one has brought up any corrections, omissions, or errors. So all those in favor, say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Everyone is in favor. The next portion is the two finance subcommittee minutes. One is for May 4th and one is from April 3rd. The finance subcommittee has not approved this within their subcommittee. I know I've polled Michael and Sue already, and they're fine with moving forward with this. With the other two, Isabel and Peter, are you both also agreeable to approving these minutes?
Yes.
Moving forward with that? Okay. I need somebody to make a motion and a second to approve those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
And then omissions, corrections, and errors, and I know there was a typo, Mike.
So there are two minor typos in the April 3rd minutes. In section 1, in the middle of the bulleted list, it says all lot instead of a lot. and 1/12 doesn't look like a fraction. I also agree with Sue. We do have to list the school committee members who were not part of the committee but present, but I believe they're supposed to be listed separately. It's supposed to make clear which are the committee members participating in the meeting and which ones are there as audience, or I've forgotten the correct term. But other than that, with those two changes, I'm fine with approving them.
All right. Any other corrections, omissions, or errors? If not, all those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Everybody has agreed. So we'll close that portion of our meeting. We're now moving on to subcommittee reports. Finance Subcommittee. Michael, do you have anything to report to the group?
We have not met since the last meeting.
Okay. And Policy Subcommittee. Ron, do you have anything to report?
No, we haven't had any meeting, and everything's on standby.
Okay. Thank you. So we'll move forward on to action items. We have warrants. Would someone like to present the warrants and make some motions?
Sure. I can find them.
I can read them if, all right. So
All right, go ahead.
we have two sets of warrants from the general fund. We have warrant 36, $261,816.40. Warrant 37, $2,403,543.97. Warrant 38, $575,720.20. Warrant 39, $2,261,756.33. Warrant 40, $67,756.73. Warrant 41, $2,095,364.85. Warrant 42, $487,915.60. That completes the general fund. We also, you want to do them together or separate?
We can do it together. You're sort of getting softer, so you need to
speak up. All right.
Speak up.
From grants and revolving funds, we have warrant 36, $160,681.34. Warrant 37, $230,413.83. 38, $284,242.21. Warrant 39, $424,856.39. Warrant 40, $473.18. Number 41, $379,640.06. Warrant 42, $258,433.71. Finance Committee has reviewed and approved these warrants, so I move that we approve them.
I'll second. No, thank you, Sue. All those in favor, please say aye and raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Looks like everybody is in agreement. Thank you very much, Finance Committee. I know you guys have been very busy most of this year, and probably will be very shortly again. Right now, we'll move on to the vote for the last day of school. Superintendent?
It looks like June 19th is our official last day of school. It's the 185th day, which the state is recommending. So I'm looking for approval for a half day of school on June 19th.
Absolutely. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the last day of school to be June 19th and a half day.
And
I'll second that.
I will second that.
I'll let Melissa second that.
Thank you,
All
Mom.
those in favor say aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye. Everyone is approved. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to the vote of FLAC and the name change.
Yeah, so Richard Murphy, the past director, just retired as of December 30th, and there's a new director, John DeManch, and it was in the process of changing the name of FLAC and trying to turn the collaboratives to just more contemporary thinking. So they've changed the name to Keystone, and they are looking for Leominster's approval for the name change. I think I'm always going to call it FLAC. I'm too old to change after 32 years of calling it FLAC. But they need our school committee approval for the name change to Keystone Collaborative.
And there seems like it certainly has grown in representation from other towns compared to what it started with.
It has. It's a great resource to us, and we are a member district, and I'm the vice chair on that team. So there's great work moving forward.
Great. Who would like to make that motion, please? Thank you, Sue. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Melissa? Excellent. All those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's been approved. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to the vote of an interim business administrator.
Can we just go back one?
Sure. Sorry.
Go back one step?
Yep.
We need to, Sue has been the representative for CAPS every year, and so we need to take a vote on that. And I have been the representative for now FLAC/Keystone. We just need the committee's approval for Chris to send forward to both of those collaboratives at this time.
Sure. Sue, is that something you're willing to continue to do?
Yes.
Okay. And Paulo, you're willing to continue to do that?
Yes.
Without any objections, can I have a motion to continue to appoint these folks to their respective collaboratives as representatives of the Leominster school system?
I'll make a motion that we appoint both of them to their posts.
I'll second.
Respective posts.
Thank you very much. Any questions, comments? All right, having heard none, everybody in favor say aye, raise your hand. Aye.
Aye.
All right, everybody has approved. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. And so now we're going to move on to the interim business administrative position.
Yes, this evening I'd like to ask for a vote to support my initiative to put Melanie Michaels forth as interim business administrator for the FY21 school year. Glenn Frado he's gracious, he's retiring. So what a year to retire, Glenn, good for you. But he has mentored quite a student over the 2.5 years, and Mel has all the credentials and the resources to support Leominster Public Schools. She's been doing a fantastic job for 2.5 years. She was part of the incoming team. I know Sue's been a part of that committee. We've worked closely with her on finance. So I would like to appoint Melanie Michaels as of July 1, our interim business administrator for the FY21 school year.
Great. I need a motion and a second, and then we can have.
I'll make a motion to appoint Mel.
I'll second it, and Melissa seconded it. Is there any comments, discussion?
Well, sure. I would just like to say, I think she's done an outstanding job. She picked the ball up running, and she really knows her stuff, and I'm impressed. So I think it's a great transition to go from Glenn to Mel. So, and I'm sure you could say the same too, Mike, working with her on the finance subcommittee.
Yep.
She knows her numbers.
She's very collaborative. She's very knowledgeable. She's very congenial. All those things now, okay? Check, right?
Great job. Thank you. That's great.
Yeah, I think we really appreciate all your efforts, and you certainly are very aware of Leominster and our numbers and what's going on, and think that you will represent our district very well. So without further ado, no one else seems to have raised their hand. Oh, Mike?
I'd just like to say I agree wholeheartedly with what Sue just said. I have full confidence in Melanie. I'm totally in support of this. I do wonder a little bit. She's already doing 2 jobs, it seems to me. This makes 3. Will we be hiring somebody else to help her out so she doesn't explode?
We're not talking about that yet. She knows what she's stepping into.
I think it's going to be necessary. That's all I'm going to say. I'm certainly in support of Melanie taking this on, but I think she's going to need another person.
Yes.
All right. Duly noted.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.
Thank you.
All right. If no one else has anything to say, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye. Raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. Motion carries.
Welcome.
Congratulations, Melanie.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really do.
Great work. Great work.
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you. Thank you. And Glenn, I mean, this is, you've got what, one more meeting?
Two more.
Two more meetings, okay.
Yeah.
So your retirement is right around the corner.
God bless you.
We need to vote on the SOA plan.
So the SOA plan is the Student Opportunity Act, and when we put this on the agenda, we put the agenda out on Thursday. After the commissioners' meeting on Friday, he asked us to take that off the table. We're not discussing Student Opportunity Act at this point, although we have a plan. The curriculum team has worked hard around that in support of early childhood. At this point, we are not ready or willing to come forward with it, so I need to take it off.
That's fine, but Paula, just make sure you write it down somewhere that you took it off because you were asked to by
Yep.
So it'll be in our minutes.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
Chris
right.
has done it. Yeah, so, but we're ready to go when they tell us we can go.
All right.
Okay.
But thank you.
Thank you. All right, so then we're into new and old business. Does anybody have anything they would like to bring forward? Sue?
So right before this meeting, I was trying to listen to the governor's stage 1 reopening plan and et cetera. And toward the end of the newsreel, it mentioned something about education, and he's putting a plan in place for the fall. Do you have any clue what that is? For education rollout?
No. So we know that we were on conference calls with the commissioner on Friday.
Yeah.
So we are getting ready for our own plans.
Right.
We can't be last minute. I listened to the mayor this morning. He was hoping that a decision would be made for our city. August 1st would be great to let parents know. I put out a message on Friday that we have a remote learning plan. We have several hybrid plans, which means students would come into the building for short term. We'd be able to clean, disinfect, and then have remote learning on the other side. And then the third plan is our doors just open. I don't know if we feel confident that on September 1st, our doors are just going to open. I don't think normal is going to be an easy task. So we are working right now with each individual principal. We've been doing this day in and day out about through each scenario. What does it look like, and what do we need? Things that we haven't considered in the past, I think we need to consider. Students wearing masks, nursing staff, taking temperatures, cleaning supplies beyond what we already normally have. So we're putting all those factors into place, but nothing official has been brought down to us, but we listen every day, and we're just prepared for whatever they say. We don't want it to be March 12th again when our doors close, and then we're trying to pick up the pieces. So we've been working through about 3 or 4 scenarios currently, and I have a feeling that FY21, we might see all of those scenarios play out over one school year. And the one consistent thing has to be students and their learning. If we start down one path, we want to make sure what their experience is consistent, and that equity and safety are in the forefront. So we have been working with that. We're working with companies around how to secure PPEs. What does that look like? How do we train young children? All of it. And we're keeping our unions in the loop as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think you're right, Paula, about whether we'd be doing any temperatures taking, temperatures or how many times a day. And it's uncharted territories, and I think everyone's been listening to what the governor is calling and what the CDC is doing, and everything is just,
right.
I think it's a moving target, and I think it's September, October, November. The unsaid thing is what happens if there's everyone's gonna talk about the second wave? Where's that gonna place us?
So, Ronnie, that's where we're playing. So for us as a school system, we've kind of changed our verbiage. We're not saying what if, we're saying even if.
Yeah.
Because we're in the job of, we're teachers. So even if we have to close again, we are better prepared. We understand these things, we know what we need. We're looking for technology in every pocket we can. We won't do March 12th ever again for the students in Leominster. We're ready to go. And I think the team, we talk about it every single day. And it freaks you up a little bit just to think, are we ever going to go just back to normal? I don't even know what normal means anymore. I just human beings again. But we're much better prepared, and our curriculum's ready to go. So we have 4 scenarios, and we just have to tighten it, but we'll be ready to present that, I would say, by the end of June. So whatever the circumstances are, we're going to get, it's not about reopening, because we're open, it's about reaching at this point.
Right. Opening is not going to look the same as it used to.
No.
Isabel?
Hi, I have 2 quick questions for Paula, but I don't know if you'll be able to answer them yet. Kind of bouncing off of what Sue said, is there any plan or thought in place of having to purchase more buses?
So that's one of those, we're focused, yes, we're focused on students, right? We need our staff to feel safe.
Right.
We need the students in the community to feel safe. And then the busing, that's one of those elements out there that we say, okay, so if the parameter is 10 students or 15 students, how do we put 60 on a bus?
Right.
So I can open our buildings and get us going. It's all that peripheral stuff. And do we have lunch in our classrooms? Do we have, we have phys ed classes of up to 60 students. I don't think we can do that anymore. Right. So it's really hard to gauge all this. So we're following the guidelines. We're listening every day. This is one of those that I want someone just to tell me what to do.
Yeah.
No one's telling us what to do.
Right.
So we've got to stay within these guidelines all the time, but really it's got to be safety first.
And then my last quick question has to do with creative choices.
Yeah.
So the governor today talked about camps and summer camps and how those are reopening on June 8th. But then daycares and child care providers aren't opening until June 29th. And I don't know where creative choices falls because it is a school entity.
Right. So at this point, we've held off. And so we talk with Melanie all the time about when is it appropriate, when is it safe. And until we are sure that it is safe, and at this point too, I want to make sure that essential personnel gets a little priority. We need to make sure that people can do what they need to do. So she's just sitting waiting for us to give her the go-ahead because parents want to know. They want to get back to their livelihood, right? I totally get it. So she is on a minute-by-minute basis with us right now.
No worries. I was just wondering if they fall in either bucket at this point.
Right in between. She's right in between. Right. Thank you.
I think, Paula, the other thing that I worry about with some of the plans going forward is that if students are only, attending school so many days a week and then the rest is remote learning, how do people work, particularly if, there's not necessarily childcare and, there might be some kids that may be too old for a typical daycare, but not necessarily old enough to be home alone for days on end. So I think that's also going to be something that our district, as well as many other districts, are going to need to take a look at.
So one thing we have flagged, Eileen, around that is we have several parents that have students at every single level. They could have an elementary, a middle, a high, and even a preschool student. So if we only open up on certain days, we want to make sure that those siblings stay together on those days and that we have the cleaning day and the remoteness. So at least there's some type of structure. Unfortunately for us right now, we just don't know. And then we don't know how long that would last. Would it be for a month? would it be till January? A lot of people have these magical dates in their head. We just have to be ready. But I mean, it really is family first. And I think those are most of the emails that I'm receiving right now from families, very supportive, but they're saying, I'm a working parent, how can you help me? I'm a working parent, how can you help me? It's difficult, it's very difficult.
Right, and it's, difficult now for parents if they're starting to open up things and daycares aren't open up until June 29th. How do you work and watch your children? So it'll be an ongoing discussion.
Yeah, so whenever we're ready to go, everyone's on board.
Okay. Do we have any enrollment update? I mean, I think we sort of talked about that with the kindergartners, but certainly school choice update or enrollment update. We're both under new and old business.
There you are, Jen.
Hi. So since school choice was voted and approved, we have been taking applications. The protocol typically is that those decisions aren't decided until late summer anyway. So it's still pretty fluid. We're letting folks know that they should be registering wherever they reside at this point. And then if and when there are openings, that we will be letting them know. It's typically around August time. Kindergarten, we try to do earlier, but because of the situation, it's just a conversation that we're continuing and will continue to have throughout the next few months together.
But we'll keep it on the agenda, Eileen. We'll keep coming back to it every meeting, just because it's something that we're keeping an eye on as well. At one point, I think enrollment will go up, and then other times I say, oh, I don't know, because I get mixed messages. Some parents really like the remote, and some people don't. So it's going to be a long summer for us.
Yeah. And not just us, every district, I'm sure.
Everybody, yeah, everybody.
We're all in the same boat.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Anything else under old or new business? If not, I need a motion to adjourn in a second, please. I think raised your hand. Did someone have something, Michael?
I just wanted to real quick say, since we've been on the topic of remote instruction, I wanted to take a moment to give kudos to Steve and anybody else involved in moving us off of our old platforms onto Google and Google Classroom, because I think we'd have been in a lot worse shape for this if that hadn't happened. I know they didn't have this particular thing in mind, but that move forward has kind of saved us here.
And Michael, think about it. People did that in 9 weeks. We've been doing this in 9 weeks. We shut the doors. Nobody thought that this was going to last, and we did it.
Yep.
I'm so proud. I'm so proud of people. I really am. I'm proud of myself. I've learned so much.
That's right. I actually had one more question. I know we're still feeding many children in our district. I'm presuming that's going to end on the 19th, because that's the last day of school.
So
just to make
So we actually Glenn had forwarded something from Chartwell's. There is a webinar on May 28th to talk about moving forward and what that's going to look like. Bob and I and the rest of the team were in contact still on a weekly basis. So we can certainly update you once we have that information.
Yeah, that might be something just to put on a future agenda, just so that families are prepared if that's going to end, because I know a lot of families are really depending upon that.
Yeah.
And it would be nice for them to be aware if there's going to be any changes.
Chartwell's is working very hard to continue this as best they can. Honestly, I can't, they deserve an award. They have been amazing, yeah. 7 days a week. And if people show up just out of the blue at a building by accident, they don't turn them away. What do you need? How can I help you? Bob Burr and Chartwell's, tremendous job.
Nice. That's wonderful. Sue?
I just wanted to say, I know the state is mailing out EBT cards to families that are on free and reduced, and each member is getting one. And I thought it was going through the summer. I could be wrong, but so they are getting EBT cards, which is good.
So just because that's a state, so our students, 4,500 out of our 6,200 are receiving, they're called pandemic EBT cards. So as each phase rolls out, that is happening. So families are receiving that as well as the food, the 2 meals a day that we're doing. What a wonderful gift that's been. I don't know what the end date is on that, but I think as long as we're out of, our buildings are closed, I'm hoping that that continues as well. That's been a great supplement to our families.
That's wonderful. Ron, you've got to unmute.
Sorry. Just to piggyback on what Paula was saying, and I think Jen was saying, or about the, come the ending of being able to provide the foods twice a day, or, for the families. There was an end date you were saying. Is there any? Maybe you already told me that, and it went to one and came out there. What's going to happen after the end date? What's going to, is Chartwell? You were saying Chartwell's was going to try and continue this, or is there going to be some avenue where they're going to?
Right. They were saying that there's a meeting on May 28th, a webinar for them to make some plans and figure out what's going to happen. But it's still a work in progress, and they're going to put it on our agenda in June so that we'll have more information.
Yeah, let us update you on that one, Ronnie, because
okay, all right. I didn't know if maybe I didn't hear it right or what. I don't know.
No, there's some really great grant opportunities out there. One of the barriers for our students it can't be hunger.
Yeah.
That can't even be an issue for us. So Bob is on top of that. So we've got it. We'll update you though.
All right, okay. Because I know I was getting ready to ask Brandon, has he heard anything? Is there anything? I'm just asking. That's all.
Thank you. Good question. All right, if there's nothing else that anybody wants to add, can I have a motion to adjourn in a second?
Seconded.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Awesome. Stay safe and healthy, everyone.
All right.
Take it easy.
Arrivederci.